Limbao, Chicken Charmaine, Mkhetwa, aka MK, and a whole bunch of other AKAs. We out here. Sobering Podcast, special episode. We out here.
We definitely are out here. Like Cam Cheers, you know, this little frat, brother frat, whatever you want to call it.
I thought we were dropping the little.
I mean, we do
Comes and goes.
It
comes and goes. Yeah.
I'm young at heart today, man.
Yeah.
The fire burning, you know. And we got ladies in the studio again.
Kito, say hi.
Cause you know we had a dry
Kito's so high.
But Kito's high.
He's high.
No man, he's definitely not.
Yeah.
So good boys.
Yeah. You were saying because ladies,
yeah,
beautiful ladies.
I think we had almost years of of high testosterone.
Yeah.
But now we good, you know, and we got like super amazing ladies in the building right now. You know, one, a dynamo, force to be reckoned with. You know what I mean? New to the scene, phenomenal voice, making phenomenal music. You know what I mean? Pegged as a freshman in the Hype magazine.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Her name is Rowlene. Come on, yo.
What up, bro?
Hey, man.
That was such a cute introduction.
We definitely need that drop. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Volume 5.
Kids will hook us up.
He definitely will.
Yeah.
And then we also have, I mean, she's no stranger to the game. You know, phenomenal at presenting, phenomenal at rapping, phenomenal at swagging. Come on.
All the time.
Come on.
All
You know
the
what I
time.
mean? Like, I don't know how else to like put it. I mean, as I say, I mean, she dressed better than you. She rapped better than you.
She taught your girl how to wear Adidas.
She taught your girl how, you know, she taught your girl how to wear everything.
Yeah.
She taught your girl how to rock a bald head.
Yeah.
She taught your girl how to rock a weave.
How to switch it up and go to the weaves.
Come on,
Like
yo.
she switches up like it's nothing.
Come on, Moozlie.
Yo,
Yeah.
How you feel?
you just made me sound like I invented the music.
Thank you, Rowlene. Thank you.
Yeah, I was there for
Thank you.
the ad-libs.
She definitely invented influencing. You know what I mean? You know how you doing, guys?
We
I'm
good.
good, man. How y'all doing?
Yeah, we
I like
good,
your
man.
jackets, both of y'all, man.
Oh, thank you.
Fancy.
I
Thank
mean,
you.
Y'all out here.
Cozy overload, bro. I mean, I can't. You know, you can't even like underplay the coziness.
Yeah.
Global warming, I swear to you.
That's a real problem. Wow, is that a joke?
Come on. What's up, ladies? How you feeling?
Feeling good.
I'm always good. I'm always mellow. Always vibing.
Always mellow. Like Rowlene is one of the most mellow people I've ever seen in my life.
It's always 0 to 100. It's always either really mellow or too much.
When does it get too much? You've never seen that.
Nah, because when I'm in my comfort zone at home,
it
yeah,
gets
you should
wild.
ask them. Like, no, they can't deal. I'm a lot.
Wow.
Yeah.
And her vibe on stage is a lot as well.
Yeah.
I mean,
Thank you.
she
Moozlie.
dope.
And Moozlie always all the way up.
Really? You know what? I feel like when I
Yeah.
first came into the game, that was me. Like I came in like twerking in the building, like, yo, what's up?
I'm out here. Yeah.
Turn up. Let's go. But I just feel like as I'm growing, as I'm maturing, and now that I'm an artist and people actually pay me to perform, it's kind of like shifted my vibe a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm way more chill than people think. Like a lot of times people are like, oh he's tired or is something wrong, and I'm just like, yo, I'm so chill. Like I'm just like chill.
Guys, she's not tired, just that's how she is.
Yeah.
Yeah, that question's annoying. Stop asking us if we're tired.
We're not tired.
We just don't want to talk to you.
Quite rude. Do I look tired? Like
Yeah,
no.
that's
That's
actually
rude to a
a weird
woman,
question.
actually.
Yeah.
No, like I
That's
don't even
rude to
care anymore.
everyone, yo.
I just look at them and I'm just like, probably. I don't know. Like, no way.
But you guys are like, I mean, like you personify hip hop, both of you, if I may say so. You know what I mean? Even before like Moozlie with you, even before like the rapping and everything, you know, just aesthetically, like when you talk, the way you carry yourself, like you just knew.
Yeah,
that
she
this-
got the bravado of a rapper too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
You know, you embody that. Even with the chillness of it, the chillness is the rapper chill, like
The
like
effortlessness.
There's always some
I
swag
mean,
to it.
it-
but,
it- there's a steez to it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's like hip hop in one place at the
Yeah.
same damn time. You know what I mean?
Oh, unlock, baby.
Unlock,
Let's
super
go.
smart.
Yeah,
Unlock,
let's
super
go.
unlock, you know what I mean? And like you exist in those worlds or those worlds, you know. And I mean, Rowlene, you also like collaborate a lot with like
Yeah.
one of the greatest rappers in the country now. You know what I mean? And you coming through on a R&B level as well.
Yes,
you know,
I am.
so how has the reception been, being that like you just came onto the scene and you know we've heard you on these rap tracks and you also have that R&B vibe. how have the people received your vibe so far?
The people's been really nice. Like, the reception's been really dope as well. Like, very welcoming. And it allowed me to, like, have fun opposed to, like, being stressed about who I was supposed to become and the path that someone else was going to, like, pencil out for me and I had to just go with. So the cool thing about the whole starting with hip-hop was that I could just have fun. I could just express myself. It wasn't too serious. And in that breath, I found myself. I found what I was comfortable doing, but I can still go there and still do that and still have fun. And it helped me collaborate because, like, that's what hip-hop's about, I think, like, collaborations and just getting to work with other people. And that evokes different emotions and that evokes different writing capacities and different everything because, like, it kind of pushes you to, like, break the barrier that isn't even really there because obviously it's a mindset and put yourself in a box because people always say think outside of the box.
Yeah.
There is no box. Like, you put the box there. You know what I mean? So,
had that one before.
like, that was that was the cool thing about hip-hop and R&B and being around hip-hop guys all the time was that I could still express myself and be a girl and still have my girly stuff, but like still chill with the guys and still be one of them at the same time just because of hip-hop and music and how it resonates and it's like one thing, you know what I mean?
Damn, that's dope, man.
Yeah.
And how did you get into the scene? Like, how did you break into it?
I was working for like an events company, Sun International, and it was like I was always in the entertainment. Like, I wanted to be a stage manager. I wanted to be a part of the entertainment industry, but it wasn't singing per se. So like I had music out on SoundCloud and people were bumping that already, but I wasn't paying attention to it because it wasn't one of the big facets and things that was for me that I thought was going to be for me,
just
at
like
least.
an outlet or
So it was just an outlet. Like SoundCloud was an outlet of the demos that I wrote for other people like years ago, and I just used to demo those things. You know what I mean? And then as like time proceeded, I was just like, I don't know, let me just put out more stuff. And I just kept dropping things on SoundCloud without any expectations whatsoever. And that's when Nasty found me on SoundCloud and he hit me up, management, and like, SMA.
Yeah.
And now we're here.
Yeah, now we're here.
Unlocked. You know?
Yeah.
I mean, with Moozlie, I mean, I guess it's a different vibe for you in terms of the hip hop scene or you being a hip hop artist, because I mean, you started with presenting, you know what I mean? And I'm sure that's why we're saying like you have that bravado, like, yo, I'm gonna do this regardless, you know what I mean? Because like you said, Rowlene, people would like to put you in a box, and I think that's what a lot of South Africans do as well. It's like when you introduce as one thing, people want you to stay
Consistently
there.
be in that
that
lane.
one thing.
What lane? Why? It's one life. If I want to be a model tomorrow, it's fine. Let me go. Why? Why is it bothering you?
I'm sure you get that thing a lot, like, oh.
Yeah, but I've had to become comfortable with the fact that other people won't always be comfortable with me. And I think for other people, that's a bit weird because naturally you just want people to like you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, naturally you want people to think that everything you do is dope because for you it is so dope. But
It
like,
just
that's
hurts
just
you,
not how
really.
life is. And I know personally there's things that I don't like. These people, I don't like. These songs, I don't like. These rappers, I don't trust.
That's human nature.
You know what I mean? It's human nature. It's kind of like food. Some people like apples, some people don't. You know what I mean? But for me, I think more than
Doesn't like
anything,
apples.
I don't like apple.
Oh, snap!
Okay, I'm not a part of this. I love Apple.
You are so not a part of this.
Guys, it's a weird
like
color.
apple?
It's a weird texture. It's a weird taste. Like, apple is weird.
Damn. All right.
Yeah. I don't like apple. Anyway, now they're not going to like me even more because I don't like apple. Yeah.
She doesn't like apple.
You know, but I think for me, whether it's in presenting or whether it's in music, it's always just been about my perspective and it's always been about the energy that I bring to the game.
Yeah.
And I think for me, when you hear the music and you see the person, you believe what she's saying on television. Do you know what I mean? So they all kind of link in some weird way. I remember when I first started writing music and becoming an artist, I kind of had 3 diaries, which was just ridiculous. It just really didn't make sense. I was like, okay, I want to do music this day, and then this is a TV day, and then this is like a content social media, because like, you know, at that time it was really dominating in that space too. But it just became so crazy, and you know, we had to find a way to just integrate everything, and the only way I could really be a dope artist is just by being a dope me, which is what made me a dope presenter. Like, at the end of the day, it's all
Talk about
Moozlie,
it.
you know? Like, for me, my biggest reference is J-Lo.
Yeah.
Like you guys never ever say J-Lo the singer, J-Lo the artist, J-Lo the TV presenter. It's just like
That's
J-Lo.
a valid
She's
point.
Jennifer
That's
Lopez.
actually, I never even thought about it.
Yeah.
Nobody ever says she must just be a maid in Manhattan.
You know,
Yeah,
you
you
know?
know?
Nobody.
Yeah.
That's-
And anytime you
that's
does something different, it's like, yeah, go girl. Like that's so epic. You like diversifying and doing all these crazy things. So for me, that's just like that's my goal.
And I must say, like with you, nothing is like it's out of brand. Nothing looks far fetched. Like you doing music, it's like okay. Like I don't see why somebody would be like, why is she doing music? Especially even hip hop. I mean, like we said, she embodies the whole thing. So for me, it was just like it was a smooth transition into that lane. So
I don't know if it was that smooth for me.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's smooth for anyone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I wasn't questioning it. I was just like, yo, man, like I see why you do it.
Yeah.
It was, yeah.
I guess you're right. I didn't question it. I was like, just waiting to see what was going to happen.
Yeah.
You know
I
what
think
I'm
everybody
saying?
waited to see in terms
Yeah.
of people's perceptions, because you know that's how people like, will she be?
Especially because
you know what I mean?
also you came in like, at that time, the crew you came in with was like, was dominating everything.
Yeah, I think that definitely added a whole other level of pressure
Yeah.
that I kind of underestimated, because I've always been a very confident person, and I just feel like I generally carry myself well in whatever space that I'm in,
No
whether
doubt.
we're in South Africa or on the African continent. Even if you take me overseas, take me to LA, like I genuinely just like fit in, you know. So when it came to like now making the transition and having people accept me as a rapper, it just like people just put on sunglasses. Do you know what I mean? It was so weird. Like the vision, the way people looked at me became different. And at the time, it was a bit frustrating. But now that we're a few years down the line, I've opened the record label, 2 projects out, the SA Hip Hop Award. It's kind of just like she was onto something. We see where she was going with this thing, you know, and that's exciting for me.
Because hip hoppers are like very, very touchy about hip hop.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like, it's
sure.
like, it's like,
For
they say
people
they're
that are
like,
supposed to be like buff and strong and like out there, they are actually
Deep
like,
in their emotions.
like dude, they are
Very.
in their feelings. They get so touched so quickly. And as a female, when I see that, I'm just like, wow. Wow, guys, really, this is
And what's
that.
irritating for
As
us
a-
as females is that you like you see it coming. You don't
You
even
know?
see it when it's happening. You
You're
like
like,
see
hey,
it coming,
this is gonna
and you
happen.
try to tell the people around you, and they're like,
No,
"No,
you-
relax.
You
in your
whining.
feelings.
Yeah.
Like you in your
Dude.
feelings.
You're the
And then
emotional
it
one.
happens.
Meanwhile,
You're like, I told you that was gonna
exactly.
happen.
But we're not gonna say we told
Yeah.
them either, because
Yeah.
be nice people like
yo.
that.
Jeez.
Damn.
But like, and then Rowlene, when it comes to you, which is also another thing, it's like the genre of R&B. It's like.
do you even want to be in it? Like,
Yeah.
like, are you R&B?
Are you
Are you
labeling it
just
like
hip hop?
that?
Or are you just
I'm not
an artist?
labeling it. Like
Yeah.
I'm not labeling it. I just want to make music, man. Like
It's
Dope.
music is a feeling. So like if I'm sad today, like even when I'm not sad, I don't need to be sad to write a sad song. I don't need to be happy to write a happy song. Like it's never like that. But if I'm feeling if I'm dressed like this today, I'm probably gonna make a song like this today. And that's just how I am. That's my persona. Like that's just
Sound
my
green.
persona. Like that's just it. Like I embody what I don't want to. And the cool thing, sorry, like I'm not even finishing my sentences, but like I'm not boxed to anything as aforementioned. So like the people I'm around supports every single decision I make, and that was difficult finding like your home, because home isn't essentially like a place for me. It's always people that I feel comfortable around and makes me feel warm and all of that kind of thing.
Warm and fuzzy.
You know what I mean? Like this hoodie.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, so like that's just the cool thing, like having people that support you, like genuinely support you in what you want to do, whether it's wanting to sing opera this week, jazz next week, rap the next week, just making sure that people know that it's you though.
Can I just say this? Like you not labeling your sound or what you do, because is it maybe out of fear of how R&B is perceived locally, especially local?
No, I don't
R&B?
even care. Like honestly, I'm not worried about who's listening. Like whether it's people from my Cape Town, whether it's people from Johannesburg, whether it's people from LA. There's people like when I sing something back to like a crowd of 100 people, they interpret it 100 different ways. So something that I wrote that meant something to me means 100 different things to 100 different people. So it's not even about the quantity or it being local or it being international. Like it's just the fact that I'm reaching out to people and I get to touch them with my music.
It's interesting.
So it's not even about
Yeah,
that. It's all perspective to me. Like I don't even think about it like that. Music is music, man. Like when I check my plays on Spotify and where it comes from, it's not even from South Africa. It's barely even from South Africa. Like the States have been messing with my sound and messing with my music more than South Africa has, which is really weird to me because I'm
It's
just like,
good
how?
and sad at the same time.
It is good and sad, but I take it with a pinch of salt also, because that means I'm working and like gradually you grow and you learn, you live and you learn. Like
True.
I take everything with a pinch of salt, literally.
Hey.
Yeah, man.
It's dope that like you, the younger generation, like you guys don't see borders.
Nah.
Like you just like you're
Nah.
just about dope.
Yeah, and being happy.
Yeah.
Moozlie, do you see borders?
No,
she
I
borders.
don't see borders. I mean, they're definitely there and they're there for a reason, and I think borders in life are important. But when it comes to like sharing the content that we're creating, especially when it comes to hip hop in South Africa, we make the best hip hop music like on the continent, like straight up, you know. So when we kind of collaborate with people, they're not necessarily just in making song, but just in sharing our stories, I think it only creates room for all of us to grow, for all of us to expand. So yeah, man.
I think there's a lot of space, like in the music. Like I don't think we get how dope we are, because we're always looking for answers from the States or abroad or wherever. Like, y'all are dope. Like, why are we waiting? We have the same amount of people. Literally, if we all just combined resources and actually work together, I feel like we would dominate, and it wouldn't be Africa to the world, it would be the world to Africa.
I think maybe because we copying so much of what they're doing, we always look for validation from them. Like, oh,
Exactly.
look, this is what we're doing. How do we do it? So maybe I think.
And they're
that's
always
why we
5 steps
like,
ahead. But sometimes
Yeah.
the crazy thing is that your thoughts is what manifests, right? And if you're thinking about someone, the chances are that 10 other people are thinking about the exact same thing, like the same time that you're thinking it. So like, if you're thinking of opening a dope label, somebody is really like 2 steps ahead of you, only because they took initiative and only because they didn't take no for an answer or their perspective of it. So it's like 5 other people are definitely thinking of doing the exact same thing that we are thinking of doing, but it's just the way that we go about doing it. And that's what changes everyone else's perspective.
It's all in the execution.
It's only execution. And if you need validation from somebody else, that means you don't know yourself, because you should know that you're good enough for you, and that's it.
Yeah, they catch you
Bars.
straight.
That's the show that the whole game. Damn.
They catch you straight. So
Damn.
Rowlene, would you say that the way that you were making music before you broke into the scene, like you still approach it like that, like you don't care how it's perceived still?
Man, like I was writing music, like the way I was thinking, I wanted to be on Gianna's album, but not as a feature. I wanted to write that stuff for her. Like people out there, like I was in grade 9 thinking of writing for music for people abroad, because I didn't know about that for people here. Like I didn't know it was a thing, because like they weren't artists that I thought I could sell my music to. And some of my things got like enlisted in like some companies that like wanted to buy the stuff that I was writing with some big artists, which I can't obviously mention.
Yeah.
But like that was dope for me. Like, okay, this is what I want to do, and I was comfortable doing that, because writing is my favorite thing. Like I just, when I'm mad, I'm writing. When I'm happy, I'm writing, because that's just how you need to express yourself. Like I'd rather like filter out my feelings to myself than have to validate it to someone else. You know what I mean? And that's just me with music, especially because.
And Moozlie, do you share some sentiments of what she's saying about how people perceive your music and stuff?
Yeah, I mean, 100%. First and foremost, for me, music is a real sense of catharsis. I think because of my television background. And,
You're going to need to break that one down. Catharsis.
you know, you just write and you just express your feelings. Like you just, it's like a diary feeling. You know what I mean? Because of the television background that I have, especially like representing MTV and then Vuzu, like when you work for these channels, you kind of like become their face, and you have to kind of say the things that they say and believe in the things that they believe, or at least the things that they say they believe in. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it kind of becomes a bit difficult when you just actually think like, nah, man, that was whack. You know what I mean? Or actually, yeah, that was dope. Or actually, my ambitions are bigger. Or actually, I think different. Or actually, I feel like I have more to contribute to this conversation than just being the mouthpiece of it. So for me, music has always allowed me to just really say what I'm thinking. People can see it. Like people have always been able to see it. I think like my aesthetic really says a lot about what's happening in my head. But the fact that I'm able to verbalize it both in the television space and like on music is really important to me, and both require writing in one way or another. So yeah, music has always just been, writing rather, has always been a place where I can just kind of express myself.
And you mentioned TV, being a presenter. I know with you, it's just like, no Moozie's no Moozlie. She does this, and that. But did you ever feel like there was a point where you like have to like distinguish that, okay, no Moozie's actually a rapper? Like, did you feel like the presenting was overshadowing, or
Yeah, for
Like,
a long time.
Did
I
you
think
want to be a not labeled a presenter that raps, like just a rapper?
Yeah, 100%. And I think over the past 12 months, like me and the team have been actively working to make that happen. And it is kind of difficult because it means one has to kind of like go down a little bit, you
You have
know.
to tone
And
one
for me,
down.
it's just like I worked so hard to like build that thing up, you know. But it was an easy thing for me to do, especially now with the album and everything, because I had done it before. When I first decided to make the shift, I really had to like not dumb it down, but just quiet it so that it can listen and develop in a different way, you know. And I'm very grateful that I've been able to do that. I think last year winning the SA Hip Hop Award was kind of just like, it was worth it, it worked, we did it, you know. So it is difficult, it's not easy, especially when you like know that you are super popping in one space. Like, put me in any space and I can throw down, you know what I mean? And like, you know, I genuinely believe that I've worked with the best of the best in the industry, you know. And I just needed to kind of transfer that music in that energy into the music side, and I really just used the network that I created in music. Lucky for me, I was on a music channel, so I knew a lot of artists. I knew all of their managers, and I knew the people that worked for them, you know. So I was able to kind of take that network and use it for myself in my music scene, which is dope.
So do you feel like the place that you are now, do you feel like it's better? Like, no, Moozlie is the rapper now. Like, when you walk into the room, like, oh, the people like see you for your music, your music comes to their minds. Do you feel like you're at the stage now?
I think it's so crazy that it's even like beyond the music. They just kind of just like, there's a boss in the building, you know what I mean? And like really it's just kind of like people understand that my contribution and the work that I'm doing is important, and it's kind of been the building blocks of what we are seeing right now. So that's really dope. Like, I never expected that to happen. That wasn't my goal. Because when I first started, there were other rappers. There was like Gigi Lemaine and Nadia Kai and like other people, but they weren't like popping like that. Do you know what I mean? That's how I saw it. I was just like, yo, that's a lane. Like, let me get into that lane. But when I actually started to get into that lane and realize how much work actually goes into this lane, I was just like, nah, there's other people out here, and we are doing this thing. Do you know what I mean? And we are pioneers of the game. Everything that we are doing has never ever been done before, which is really exciting. Everything that we're doing is gonna like kind of set the pace for what's gonna happen over the next couple of years. Or the game is moving so fast it may not even be years. But it's just a really dope time to be me, I think.
Amazing. And also, not to get spicy or anything, you mentioned Nadia Naka, and there's this illusion that you guys have
To
beef.
get spicy.
Yeah.
You get spicy. Wild spicy right
You
now.
know, because I don't want it to look like I'm perpetuating this thing from happening.
Yeah.
Because I feel like people need to pull together. There can be more than one woman, as we've discussed earlier.
True.
Yeah.
Like, I mean,
This
in
is real.
the same space. So, why I'm saying like it's
Fax machine.
Yeah, it's like an illusion. It's because Nadia said something in a song, but I haven't heard anything from Moozlie. That's why I'm like, did you choose not to entertain that line?
Yeah.
So there's no animosity on your side.
No, I wouldn't say it's animosity. I don't have
What-
animosity.
What do you have?
No Moozlie, what do you have?
What do you have, Moozlie?
Nah, like,
I just got me. Like, I just got
Yeah.
me, honestly.
You just
Like,
gonna
it's
do
not
you.
even like I've got.
It's not a thing.
It's not a thing. Yeah.
I mean,
I've
I
just
think
got
that's
me.
healthy competition. I
Yeah.
like that because I mean you're keeping each other on your toes and all of that jazz.
Still sharp
But
steel.
and like in terms of, and I don't think it will be like ducking smoke, because I think that Moozlie has made it clear.
Yeah,
she
no
want all the
Moozlie.
smoke.
Yeah, she with the smoke.
She want all the smoke. She want all the smoke. You know what I mean? But I like that. That's just like, oh.
I think, yeah. Also, it's just like, as much as we are powerful when we are all united, when we are women, sometimes we just don't get along. Like, say, finally.
Yeah, like,
Yeah.
don't force the
You
vibe.
know what I mean? Like, sometimes we just don't like each other.
Like, and
that's
it's not
okay.
even that. Like, sometimes you just don't want to talk. Like, I'm not trying to be rude. I just don't want to talk to you. And it's not you. It's not me either.
I
Just
feel
go
that.
away.
I feel that. I feel
Like,
that.
people just, that's why I say people are too quick to catch feelings. Like, it's not that personal. It's not that deep.
Yeah, when they say it like this, then it's cool. Because I hate it when it's guys always like putting them up together. Like, so and so did this and that. If it's your guys deciding, I don't like that, so and so, that's cool. I'm happy with that.
wild spicy.
Yeah.
That was spicy. Real
That was just a nice sweet chili. It was just a sweet chili.
Yeah.
Come
Nothing
on,
for you,
quickly.
no Moozlie.
Wild spicy. But you used to the spice, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like I said, you don't duck the smoke.
Yeah.
Free smoke, free smoke.
I stole.
Now, in terms of Ro, I'm still bugging out in terms of how much you value your writing. You know what I mean? And I want to understand why you were gearing towards like you want to write for other people. You know what I mean? Like
Money, dog.
that's what I'm saying. It's like, you know, everybody else sees it as they need to be the front person. They need to
No.
be
They need
the
to be
person
in the
on
limelight.
the mic.
Yeah.
I'm okay with not being in the front.
Yeah.
I'm really okay with not being in the front
Yeah.
because I know what I bring to the table.
So, but like, what's besides money? What sparked that and interested you in terms of
Especially
you
in
even,
grade 9.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's
Guys, I'm
actually
weird.
Because
when
in
you,
grade 9, you're still listening to music just because it's music.
know,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
You're not like breaking down, this is the,
Yeah,
and the,
and
and
like,
the rollouts and the this. And
Yeah.
that.
I think it's just
questioning-
because I was blessed with always having like creative people around me.
Yeah.
Not necessarily like family,
Yeah.
but like my friends. Like, and the age groups were crazy. Like the age groups were hectic. So it's like the producer that I started working with was like, "Yo, you actually dope," and it was just like, "Ah, cool, let's do it." And then I made another writing, and I was like, "Oh my word, this is actually a thing." And then we just started writing, and we just created demos. We like on a Friday, we used to do this every single Friday from like 2 after school until like 7, 8, 9, and we try to finish like 5 demos every Friday because like that whole week we had time to write to the beats or just to compose something and pull up to the studio and just like work.
Listening back on those demos, how do you feel?
They dope, dog. One of them are going on my album. Like
Oh, that's
Big.
that
nice.
7 years ago, yeah, like it's going on my album. One of them.
Also, SMA is also quite old,
Yeah,
right?
it's
We
like
just
2 years
interviewed Gino not long ago,
Yeah.
and he said it's like 3 years
6 years old, yeah.
Crazy.
Damn, you've been with
hey,
the shits.
you know what, man? These are like two very talented people.
Yeah.
I swear.
Aww.
I mean, I think everybody knows like how much I valued SMA like when it came out.
Yeah.
It was, like, the songwriting here is like out of here. You know what I mean? It was just like crazy and super mature, but that's neither here nor there. Back to the spice.
Why'd
you mention it?
What is-
That is me all the way out.
You know that, like
Okay.
you know, like what they say. You know what I mean? Like on my favorite podcast, they say you lead with love. Yo.
Yeah.
Right.
So when the spice comes, it's not,
Let's get back to spice.
Yeah.
Back to, you
But
know,
sorry,
but
that's
the thing
spice.
is, it's not even spice. You know what I mean? Like, we're just looking at Moozlie, your journey. You know what I mean? When you started, like your record label was coming off of another situation which you left in a way that I somewhat applaud. You know what I mean? I'll tell you why, because you were so unapologetic when you came out of that situation. You know what I mean? You didn't leave it for the we parted on mutual vibes. You know what I mean? You were just like, nah.
You called a spade a
Yeah,
spade.
you called a spade a spade. You put and you put it out in a way that a lot of rappers at that time weren't doing. Everybody at that time would tweet, "Nah, I ain't messing with this situation." Blah 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 blah. But what you did, you put it out on a song. You know what I mean? And I respect that a lot. You know, and I think that was very ballsy of you. And a lot of people in similar situations didn't have the balls that you had.
Also,
in terms of-
it would have been easy for you to even like rally up some other people
Yeah.
to do a song with you.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But you did it by
didn't.
yourself.
You
Yeah.
did it
You,
by
like,
yourself, and then boom, created your own.
My Benna music.
Yeah, my Benna music. You know what I mean? Just take us through that journey and that process and the journey my Benna music started and where it is right now.
Yeah, so you know, for me the transition, like deciding to just completely not be in that situation anymore, was a really, really difficult decision for me to make, because I just kind of believed in like what we were doing at the time. Like, we the most bootleg people on the streets. All the kids are rocking our shit.
Data
like,
file host.
You know what I mean? Like, everybody's rocking with us. Like, I can't walk away from this situation. But I feel like life is what happens while you're busy making plans. And even though I really wanted to like stay in that space and like make it work out, it just wasn't working out for me, you know? And for them, it also just made sense to be like, yo, if that's how you want to move, rather you move on your own. And I said, cool. I'ma do that. You know, I'ma do that. And genuinely at the time for me, I really just wanted to like make a big impression. I was just like, oh, I have to just drop an album, show these people, and I have to just run things, and I have to just own it. And life was just like, relax. You know what I mean? Just figure yourself out. And Smoot and I were together at the time, and he was just saying to me, like, yo, boss up, you know what I mean? Like, genuinely boss up. You have these big ideas in your head, like, for real, like, boss up. If you're going to do it, this is the time. Like, do it now when you're on a clean slate where you have absolutely not that much attached to your name. Do you know what I mean? You can really do you and move the way that you want to do. And at the time, it just seemed crazy. It was just like, what the hell do I know about running a record label? That's just kind of crazy. Like, I'm not going to do that, you know? But when I sat down with people that I was hoping would help me and realized how crazy these people are and like how like the game is not really set up for people to really boss up like that, I realized that I got to do this for myself. You know, I saw something on Instagram the other day that said, your boss trusts you and they value your opinion, but they'll never ever pay you enough to be their neighbor. You know what I mean? And for me, I'm really trying to move up. Like, for real, I'm genuinely trying to move up.
Fax
so
machine.
I had to just kind of set myself up in a way that I would make sure that I'm always taken care of and I can be a person that can hopefully help other people in the same space. Because as artists, we're not just contracts, we're not just numbers, we're not just these people that do one thing.
Talk about
we do
it.
so many different things all the time. We like millennials, we're part of the slash generation, you know what I mean? Like,
Well, she's
really
Gen Z, but
Yeah.
even crazier, you know? So we kind of like limitless, you know, we are really unlimited and our potential is unlimited. So I didn't want to be limited by a contract, limited by a company, and limited by somebody else's legacy. You know, it would have been great to be with Universal and get the help that they have, but they also had a day one. You know, Gallo started like how many years ago?
yeah.
True.
Do you know what I mean? Like, as Black people, we also need a day one. And for me, ownership, especially as a young Black female in South Africa, was so important.
That's dope. But you speak of some limitations within that contract. Are you at liberty to speak about what some of those things were like in detail?
In
What contract?
the cash time
The
contract?
cash time contract, yeah.
There was no cash time contract.
But we talked about this with
bro.
Kid X, bro.
There was no cash time contract.
Rewind.
I think it was like a blessing and a curse, you know. It's kind of something that I don't think we all talk about very openly because it's not only one person's mistake then you kind of also have to take
Yeah.
responsibility for the
Oh,
fact
You
like
have to take stock
you
as
were
well.
doing all of that and you didn't have a contract. Like, you're crazy. You know what I mean?
That's
But at the same time, it's just like there was something bigger at play, you know. And I
Yeah.
think also if you just look back now in retrospect, everything that was done, the sound, the moves, the energy, the crew, it sparked a lot of imaginations, you know. Some that we're seeing in the game now, some that we'll see in years to come, and everything works out the way it's supposed to work out for a reason.
Damn, all right.
I like the way that you positioned that there were bigger things at play. You know what I mean? Like I said, that was something that was, you know what I mean? The crew movement wasn't that big then. You know what I mean? I think it was just you guys and I guess potentially Boys and Bucks.
Yeah,
you know what I
yeah.
mean?
And they were bubbling still.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And, but they weren't mainstream. But
Yeah.
on a mainstream level, you guys did have that movement. You know what I mean? And you guys did set some sort of a blueprint. You know. So with that said, do you think you're cool with everyone now? Can bygones be bygones, or is that like nah?
I like to think that like conversations solve things, and like if we talked about it, we're cool. But I think sometimes energy lingers. You know what I mean? Energy kind of lingers. I mean, our work and our lives are so closely aligned. You can kind of see, you know, in my music and in the way that I move, who I'm cool with and stuff, who I'm extra cool with. But I think for me, genuinely, I hold no bad grudge against anybody in that situation. Maybe just except one person. No. I have no bad energy. It was like a dope time. And now, especially with the sound of music that I'm making now, I don't think I would be able to do it as easily as I'm doing it if I didn't go through that training school. And I really realized the impact that we made in the game, you know. So I appreciate everything and everybody in that time.
That was your school fees, man.
Yeah.
You know, understand?
dope.
The real
That's
school
dope.
of SA hip hop, for real. Like, I genuinely, I'm a graduate of the school of SA hip hop, for real.
Damn. Wow. And now we're here. And then under Mabena Music, do you have anybody?
Currently, do we have anybody who has like put a pen to a paper? No.
That's not the
because
way-
of
yeah.
everything that I've been through. I'm not just trying to like make people, you know, sign their lives away. But we do have people that we're helping. It's so crazy that we're having this conversation about writing because the single that I just dropped now is Funugwazi. Fresh Click actually assisted me with the writing of that song, you know. A lot of people were kind of just like, why don't you give them feature credits? And it's just like, because I'm trying to help them build a completely different situation for themselves. You know, Fresh Clickers, these two really dope chicks from Cape Town. They're actually in the music video with me. They're really dope. They sound like they were raised in South Africa in the 90s. You know what I mean? Really rich, Kwaito, authentic South African sounds. And I think that's why they were able to assist me with that. So when I was in Cape Town working on the album at the Red Bull Studios, Gemini Major called Psycho Beats in, and Psycho Beats was just like, okay, I know we have to do this thing, because Buddha's like, do you want to make millions of rands or do you just want to be a rapper? What do you want to do? And at the time,
Shout out this Buddha in the back. Yeah.
you know, and at the time I was just like, no, you know, I'm going to be international and I'm not going to be, you know, and I'm not going to be. But when I really started researching and just being like, what do I want my album to represent? What do I want it to sound like? When I look back at it in a few years, what do I really want to be proud of? And I think I just want to be sure that I sound like a girl from South Africa. Do you know what I mean? Because that's who I am. I want to sound like myself. And so I had to just tap into that dust vibe. And they came through, and their energy is insane. If they walked in here right now,
they're
you would
freaking
like,
hectic.
they
are
could
so hectic.
like really be with Rowlene, like swagger insane,
so
dope
hectic.
energy, and just like really trying to learn, you know. So they moved out to Joburg. I'm kind of like helping them out while they're here, you know. And then there's also another kid called Jay Little. He's from Valcom.
Welcome, what up,
Honestly-
out of town boys? Yeah.
Wow.
Honestly,
Hype,
he's
hype.
really dope. I think me and Spudo would really like to like sign him and like really take him to the top. But he's in school, so we really gotta make sure that he like at least gets to matric first, you know.
What grade is he in?
He's a matric. So he's
Oh,
gonna
nice.
finish this year, you
nice.
know. And he's really like, he's growing at a really, really crazy pace. Every school holidays, he just kind of comes to our place. He locks himself up in our place. He's got a producer out here, and they just like bang out records, like really, really
so
bang out
dope.
records,
Dope.
you know. So yeah, we're helping. We're making moves. We're not trying to label people and be Diddy and all up in the music videos and nothing, you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
that's fair.
But I think we're trying to help, because as much as we have Moozlie and Music, we also have Spuda's company, which is a management company called SPR Projects, and there's a whole lot of things that we do under that company as well. So we just kind of, you
This
know,
is mogul
helping
talk.
people.
Mogul talk.
Mogul talk, boy.
Mogul talk.
That's dope.
Moving the right ways.
Yeah.
man.
And I mean, I see, I mean, it's really dope that you molding these people and you molding your legacy, you know, and going with that, like when somebody builds a legacy, like everybody that's with them has to have faith in that legacy, and that will go to you, Rowlene, and you signed to a young mogul at this point, or mogul, and we'll just call him a young mogul,
Yeah.
actually, you know
Calls
what I mean?
himself the young mogul.
And you're on tour racks, you know, how has that journey been? And to put your faith in a Nasty when he's so young, and I'm sure there's people that have
Oh, you
questions.
got the
and
chain
whatnot,
on
you
as
know?
well. Just so
Yeah, I saw the
No,
pendant.
stand
Yeah,
that.
it's nice.
Oh,
Yeah,
it's
stand-
nice.
I don't even take it
Nah,
off.
alright,
Dancing.
yeah.
Take
Alright,
it off.
Ice dancing.
Listening.
Man, like
Call that
with
a
the whole
chandelier.
label thing, like the whole label thing, before anything else, like you need to know what you're getting yourself into, and rather the devil you know what I mean? But like with him, it's not even like that, because we were friends first.
Yeah.
And you're not supposed to mix the whole business and pleasure thing.
Yeah.
And that's
Ooh,
one
girl.
thing. Like, that's like, no, not like that. Calm down. You see,
Hey,
hectic.
come on.
But
come
like-
on with the spice.
Too much spice out here.
That's not spice. I mean,
Yeah, like, come on. But like, seriously, like, when I mess up, he'll tell me. Like,
Yeah.
yo, bro, no, that wasn't cool. Or if I even tweeted something that was like, yo, like, just because, not even from a managerial or like from my label manager perspective, but from like a friend perspective, he'd be like,
Yeah.
are you okay? Like, you can tell, because I'm a very honest tweeter. Like, I tweet my feelings.
And the Insta story.
Oh yeah, like I'm out there because
You're
I
just
don't
an
wanna-
honest person. Ain't
Yeah, I'm honest. Like, why? Because now I am blowing up. I'm blowing
girl,
up.
you are.
Let him know.
I
Talk
don't-
about it.
Honest
now.
talk.
Don't shy
I
away
don't
from
want
it.
to.
You
I
are.
don't want to now have to put on heels and like put on all of like. I don't want to be something that I'm not. Like,
Okay.
I've always been this honest person in life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And even with Junior, before the whole label thing, like, I feel like as a label, before you even sign someone, you need to believe in the fact that they can actually do it. And the fact that he believed in me when I didn't even believe that I could do this was really a big leap for me. I didn't even have to think about it because he did say, yo, you're going to be my guinea pig. And I'm like, dude, like, yeah, let's go. Let's take it to the top. Let's do this.
So have you embraced like being a star? Have you embraced that, okay, now you're not writing just for people, you're on the forefront, in the limelight?
Man, I'm trying. I'm trying because like being in the limelight comes with so much responsibility. And like, it's not that I'm running away from it.
Yeah.
It's just that expectations, and I don't want to please people. Generally, I'm not the type of person that if I don't like something, I don't like something, and you'll know I don't like something. And in the beginning, when I just signed, obviously people have ideas because they see you being able to do certain things. And in the beginning, they were a little bit of I didn't want to do the whole becoming a brand, in a sense of becoming this cute female singing pop music.
Yeah.
And it was a suggestion. And that's also the thing with labels. Like, people feel like, or artists feel like, when someone comes to you with a contract or comes to you with a suggestion, that it's an attack, or they forcing you or holding a knife to your neck saying you need to do this.
Yeah.
When in turn there hasn't been anything signed, you can talk about it, you can negotiate, you can be like, yo, I'm not comfortable with this, I'm not comfortable with that.
Yeah.
But also you need to trust the process that people that are above you, like that has been doing things like Moozlie and like Nadia and other people that can advise me, that they've been doing this, they got hurt before, they got screwed over before. So it's not even like they just making this up or sucking it from their thumb.
Yeah.
And like from a managerial perspective, the people that I had to learn to trust actually have my best interest at heart. And that obviously all comes with getting to know the people, like actually chilling with them on like a normal day, and like just spending
you gotta do hours
just
with
do
people.
normal, like doing normal things with people, like going bowling or playing or karaokeing or playing 30 seconds, like, because how is this person that is managing you supposed to manage you when they don't know you?
Team building.
You know what I mean? So it's like team building is a big thing, because even with the boys at home, I'm just like, yo guys, we need to do normal people things. Like, all we do is go to gigs, come home and play FIFA and record. Like, we need to go bowling, and like, we started doing stuff, like we started going out and started integrating with other people, because we were so subjected to just being with each other, because we were so comfortable with just being with each other.
And you guys don't wear headphones in the club anymore.
Yeah, we're working on that. We're working on that. Like,
they would literally walk in the club wearing headphones.
We're working on that.
Why?
Like, we really, like,
because they're just, for them, they're just like, we're with each other, and if we're with each other, this is what we'd be doing
like,
anyway.
We're fine. This
Do
is
you know
what
what I
we're doing.
mean?
Like,
I'm guilty
Yeah,
of that
because
too.
Kizo does that too.
You wear headphones in the club.
But that's to
Yeah.
protect his
Yeah.
sometimes your music is better than what they play.
No.
You
No,
know?
To
The
protect
engineers,
his
they're
ears.
just like, oh,
Yeah,
Oh, you know
it's
who else
really
also
loud
wears
out
like
there.
ear protected things? The
Yeah.
big hash. I'm like,
Oh,
you're
yeah.
so little. We still got gigs. You gotta bang these ears out, though, homie.
No, like, yeah. I
Gotta
sometimes, I
protect
just
your ears.
can't. I just put it in my earphone. Sometimes nothing's even playing. Sometimes I'm just
Nothing's
avoiding.
playing on mine.
Sometimes
What
I'm just
song have you
avoiding.
written in the club that we don't know about? Like, you actually wrote it like in sumo or something.
A lot of the stuff on my album, because I go there for a lot of inspiration.
To sumo?
Yeah.
Oh, shout out to
I
sumo.
want to
I'm
hear
going to
it.
sumo next week.
Yeah, because it's like
Tell me
some
how
of
it
the
is.
things you experience there, like you see people acting, you see, it's like an outer body experience. Like you're just sitting there and watching everyone, and people think you're genuinely like judging them, but you're really not. Because I'm the type of
Oh, you
person
kinda
that can
are.
just.
Yeah.
No, I'm not. Like I'm just sitting there and I'm just like.
On the
She's
low.
watching. She's
Yeah.
watching.
On
I'm
the-
really
the
having
low.
the most fun just sitting in my corner with my earphones.
Like, look at this,
and I'm
dude.
just like, wow, you guys are
You see
crazy.
that?
So
But
you
it's
That's
judge.
judgment.
but like, no.
Low-key, that's judgment.
Okay,
Oh,
okay.
he's about to back it up. Oh, look at him. Oh,
You probably can afford those
Oh,
bottles.
oh.
And you'll hear it in
Oh,
some of the songs. You'll hear it in some of the songs. Oh, Boy Bye. Boy Bye was just in the club.
Oh.
See,
Interesting.
that's
Boy, bye.
definitely
already
like,
just
yo,
like-
boy, bye. Yo.
No, because I was watching someone that was in a relationship, like, be with someone else, and I was like, oh no! And I just typed that whole second voice out, and I was like, how dare you? I went home and recorded it, and yeah, the song's done.
Damn.
Yeah.
There you go.
Wow.
And some people think that some of the songs are the things that I swear to God, some of those things I've
About-
never been through. I don't even know that. Like, it's crazy because you get to write somebody else's experience. Like, that's the fun part for me.
I'd say shout out to Infidelity for
Thank you.
for inspiring
He's on his
you.
own on
We're
that
gonna
one.
go joop joop for you, Lord. But watch yourself.
9-9.
Nah,
Watch yourself.
Loyal boys worldwide out here.
Yeah,
But I'm
loyal
saying,
boys.
like, yo,
Wow.
if there was one time where it had to be applauded. I guess this would be it.
You don't want to be a bra voice in these streets, bro.
Yeah, you don't want that. You
Oh
don't want that.
yeah.
Speaking about team building and whatnot, how are your team dynamics, Moozlie? I mean, like, I know it's like you and Buddha like running, a lot, but have you built a team around what you guys are creating now, and how has that been?
I think for me, I'm very big on just collaborating with people who are like the Moozlies of their space. Do you know what I mean? And I think there's a lot of young black entrepreneurs in like so many different spaces, whether it be running studios and sound engineering, people who mixing and mastering, people who do graphics, the lady who does my PR, Khadi, she's also just started her own business and she was with another label for a very long time. So those are the kind of people I like to work with, even when it comes to aesthetics and working with photographers, I kind of like to work with different people so that it always kind of feels different. Do you know what I mean? Sometimes you find your person and you meet your person and then you get
just
stuck
vibe,
into a groove.
yeah.
But a lot of the time when the content is out and then you're celebrating it, you kind of just get into a new vibe and then you meet new people, so for me, I love to work with young black entrepreneurs who are like also just running SMEs and just really trying to, besides progress themselves as a business, they're really interested in progressing the industry that we're in, because I feel like that's what I'm all about as well. A lot of the time I don't want to do things, but I just do it because it's like the game needs you, Moozlie.
Who else is gonna do it?
So yeah, for me it's all just about collaborating with young black entrepreneurs.
Because when you worked on it, Khadi, I was wondering to myself, like, did you sign with that label? So I'm just glad that you cleared it up.
Khadi bossed up. Khadi
boy.
bossed up.
Everybody bossing up.
You like that?
Yeah.
No, shout out to her. I mean,
Yeah.
it's the dope thing to see those sort of collaborations, but it's also a dope thing to see you, Moozlie, I mean, in the space of collaborating, meaning that you always keep your relationships so long, you know what I mean, in terms of your brand affiliations as well, and that's also
Loyal
like,
in a sense.
Yeah, that's like a dope lesson for a lot of people out there. Like, how do you create those great relationships with brands where they mess with you the long way, you know what I mean? And it's not just like a fly-by-night type thing where you had 5 tweets
Beyond
done,
one
and now it's
campaign,
on
yeah.
to the next, you know what I mean?
For me, I'm very much about working with people who are interested in like empowering me. Like, I don't need free things. You called me because I was rocking your things. Do you know what I mean?
Basically.
I literally force brands to get involved in what I'm doing, whether it's like shooting music videos, whether it's like paying somebody for mixing and mastering, whether it's going on a tour, whether it's like, I literally force you to get involved in what I'm doing. And I think that's why I've kind of positioned myself as a voice, not only for the culture or for myself, but just as a voice. Do you know what I mean? Like, I can speak well about what it is that you're doing. So, with Red Bull, I recorded my album in the studio. I'm no longer working with them that closely anymore, but because they were literally involved in what it is that I'm doing, the collaboration will continuously go on. The relationship with Sunglass Hut is like far beyond sunglasses. They really are involved in what it is that I'm doing. We recently just did a campaign with them for Fashion Week, and for me it was just like, it's right up my alley. It's what I'm doing anyway, and I'm able to use those funds to like run my business, For me, ultimately, like, I need bags so that I can run this business. These fur coats ain't gonna buy themselves, and I need them for the music videos. You know what I mean? So for me, that's what it's all about, and I think that's why Castle Lights and Locks as a concept, we can't help but immerse ourselves in it, because it's about us. It's about making us look fresh. It's about making us look fly. It's about helping us tell people who may not necessarily know too much about our world and our culture what it is that we're doing. We're not just like these crazy skrs, yo-yos, emotional, you know what I mean? We're really doing dope things. We're like really doing
And we're
dope
actually
things.
working. This is not spoon-fed. Like, people actually recognize the work that you were doing.
Yeah, so
And
for
people-
me,
yeah.
that's important, yeah.
Are you still with Adidas?
I'm not with Adidas anymore. When you say with Adidas, what do you mean?
Because you did a lot of stuff with them. That was one brand that you were affiliated with for quite some time.
Yeah, I did do a lot of things with them. But the relationship ran its course. I think also as the brand grew in a particular direction, I was also growing in a different direction. And yeah, they still send me some stuff every now and then. It's really dope. But for me, I really I try not to position myself as an influencer. And I try not to position myself as a person who's just doing this 2-week campaign with you and then we're leaving it alone.
Yeah, that's
and I think for me, because of what I was bringing to the relationship, the fact that I haven't been with them for almost 3 years and you can
And we
still ask me
remember,
about
yeah.
it, it shows
That you were
I was
doing a
also
dope
bringing
job,
something
bro.
to the
Yeah.
table, you know.
Yeah.
So I wanted a little bit more. I had dreams about a young
A young
Adidas
sneaker there.
Moozlie collabo
Yeah.
someday.
Yeah.
Why
you
is
know
that
what I
always
mean?
the thing, though? We were at a barbecue braai type thing, you know what I mean? And we were talking, barbecue. I'm very sorry. That was
Very American out here. Barbecue.
Patriot.
Very
Yeah.
patriotic.
But and we were talking with another rapper, and he was like, "Yo, man, I was trying to get a shoe collab. You know, why is that the ultimate goal?"
I think for me, it wasn't necessarily about the collab. It was just about the bag.
Yeah.
If you want me to do all this dope stuff, just pay me. Honestly.
So
that's it.
if there was still a bag, but not necessarily a shoe collab, it would be fine.
I think we just have to get paid what's due to us. And
Yeah.
that's not only specific to Adidas, it's just with any brand. Honestly, pay people what they're worth, you know? And also, try
like
to grow
that.
people, try to empower people.
Yeah.
Stop trying to sun
Amen.
us. And I think we're
Hallelujah.
also, we're living in this age now where so many things are being labeled as, a collection of people. We're
it's
creatives,
annoying.
women,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
they
you
try
need
to
to
you
Tag you the female.
you know what I mean? They try to make it
Bro.
about give us a bag. Stop trying to be
Cut the
you're
check.
gonna do this
cut
and
the
then
check.
it's gonna be dope for the culture
No.
and maybe after this we'll be able to do other
Then find
things.
someone else.
No, bro.
No.
Yeah.
No. Let's
It's gonna
build.
take more
Let's
than
grow.
goodie bags, eh?
Yeah.
Nah, it's not okay.
Shout out to the
We really
goodie
just
bags,
have to
yo.
build a
Shout out to the goodie bag people as
Yo,
well.
shout out to the goodie bags. Goodie bags, come on the show.
It's a whole bunch of them, man. It's a whole bunch of influencers.
But talking about people that are investing and growing people, you know what I mean? You checking what Unlocks is doing, you know what I mean? And also elevating the culture. And now it's a whole convention, you know what I mean? And hip hop is unlocked in one space, and all of the facets are being celebrated. How important do you think things like that are for the culture at this point in time?
Collaboration is important, as before mentioned. And if these events weren't there, people wouldn't meet. They would be more uptight. They would think they were cooler than everyone else. Because obviously you need to get in, firstly.
Yeah.
And that's just how you connect. Networking. That's it. Vibes are loud, guys.
Yeah.
Just meeting the right people. And if we didn't have these events, I can't stress that enough, because it is a cultural thing. And that's why internationally music is more of a bigger thing, because they have a thing for everything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's the cool thing about Castle, is that they dominating the hip hop thing in South Africa, in Africa, I would say even.
Yeah.
Because the artists that they're bringing in, that they get to collaborate, because I know that Junior gets to work with all these people prior, after, because they actually end up networking and they end up making songs together. And it's just seeing that, and that it's that easy to connect with someone and make music with them and make dope music with them.
Yeah.
That is beyond measure, dude. That's freaking dope.
Damn.
I think for me also it's very important for us to share information about our culture, but also to document it.
Yeah,
When you look
definitely.
at other places or just other things, they just have such a rich, dense history and it's well documented.
Talk about
So-
it.
And it's weird, because you always question how do you know that was gonna happen, and you start questioning so many other things. Meanwhile, they were just documenting it because they
Yeah.
wanted to savor the moment.
Yep.
Yeah, you know, it's so important. So I think that's my favorite thing about Unlocks, is how it, besides documenting our culture, because I think for the first time in a very, very long time, we have a lot of people who are seriously documenting our culture. Also, social media has probably made us the most documented species on the earth.
Yep.
Do you know what I
have
mean?
all
We
our
literally
information.
document ourselves all the time. But you have the springing up of photographers, people like Maverick Seizure. Oh, he will kill me if I say that wrong. Maverick Seizure, D2, Z takes nice pictures. People like Wanda. They're really documenting the culture in such a dope way. But you kind of need to see it in all its glory. They do really dope intimates, and that's who we are on it every day. But it's time for people to see us with our avatars on. Do you know what I mean? In full costume and full glory. And I think that's what makes our favorite artists so epic. It's because we see them in that downtime, but we also see them in full glory. And this is exactly what something like Castle Light does. And I think more than anything, let's teach the kids, man. You know, we had to figure out a lot of things by ourselves.
Yeah, don't be selfish with your knowledge, bro.
Yeah, although
like,
it taught us and
it
it made us sharp and it brought us to where we are. And I definitely
2019.
wouldn't be there. I wouldn't be here if I didn't go through the things that I went through. But let's share information, man. Let's unlock these kids for real. Let's unlock these minds.
And it's a good thing that Castle Light has dedicated like day one to mostly like the sharing of knowledge,
Co-conversations.
helping kids, conversations. So yeah, man.
I'm looking forward to that because I mean, the thing about it right now is that the best thing is that a lot of people are going to learn from their peers. You know, which is the greatest thing because now they're speaking in a frequency that you understand, and
They're not trying to sun you
the
either.
Same, the same wavelength, and nobody. It's not a lot of people talking down on you. You know what I mean? Like you guys don't have the OG syndrome. You know, and like you know, you guys, you know what I mean. But now it's just like, yo, if you could do it like this because I did it like that, you know what I mean, and. You know the pitfalls that you went through. You don't want people to go through that. You know, Moozlie did that. Hopefully you won't go through that.
You know, I think a lot of the time, a lot of people kind of feel that OG syndrome because they haven't gone through it or they're not like exposed to it. A lot of the time, we just think like, well, you figured it out. Like, hold my hand, show me where to go. You know, but
like,
that's not exactly how it works.
Yeah.
So I think through platforms like this, we'll be able to like share information. And I'm telling you, like, invest in yourself. Like I think we are positioning this Castle Light Unlocks thing as like, I've been unlocked, come and see this epic show, and genuinely come and see the show because it's gonna be dope.
Come to the show.
But like, unlock yourself, invest in yourself. You will get so much more out of that experience than just a dope concert, like just some free beers. You will meet people and it will surprise you if you are loyal to yourself and if you are loyal to the networks that you make. It'll surprise you what those networks will bring out. Like the people who are in that audience this year, in a few years' time, or like we said, it's not even years, it's months, because the game is moving, you know what I mean? It's only a matter of time until they're like in my position, do you know what I mean? And they're the new, like, and they just like downloaded everything that I did because they've been watching me since 2012, and just like one music video, download information, you know what I mean? And they're like on a whole new level. And you can see that with the people that are in the game now, like your Rowlenes, your Nasty C's, your A-Reeses, like it's just like, wow, these kids are like insane, you know? They're really coming with some crazy stuff, and it's because they are part of this ecosystem of like really building themselves and like really learning about what they're doing. Because I mean, she mixes her own stuff, she writes her own stuff, she composes her own stuff.
Talk about it.
And she taught herself a lot of this stuff, you know. So we have to show people that like you gotta do it yourself, bro. You really gotta do it yourself.
That's amazing. Now you see, like, I want to know when you got to that point as well, bro. Like mixing and how did you teach yourself all of that and at what
I
point
don't want to wait.
Yeah.
I hate waiting. I'm an impatient person. I want stuff done now. So I'm
you're
gonna
just
just
like,
do
I'm
it
gonna do it.
myself. And besides, you know what you want to sound like. You know what you're trying to put out. You know what you want. You know your goals. You know where your head's at. So who better than you to do what you want to do? Like, yes, there are like
hella
people
impressed.
that is supposed to like do things and have jobs to do that.
Yeah.
But that's what like that's their job. I have my job and I'm being loyal to me. So like, if I know, like, if someone else is doing a mixing session, I'll be like, yo, no.
I got this. I got this.
Maybe just
Move
this
aside.
one time we were traveling in December and we were in Ghana and
talk about it.
I had the session, right? And the producer was so dope. One of his songs is actually on my album as well. And I ended up doing that entire session. Like the studio was basically the setup.
Yeah.
And like I came with my laptop and my hard drive. I don't go anywhere without it. And then I sat down, I was like, yo, what do you use? And he was explaining all the stuff. I was like, yo, but I brought my laptop. If you have the beat, we can put it on there. I have my own stuff. I use Cubase, whatever, let's just handle. And he started like recording me and I was just like, nope. And I moved the chair and I was like, let me do it, just give me the mic. And I finished that song in like 30 minutes and I was out.
How did you learn all those skills? Were you self-taught? I mean,
Like, how do you so many buttons? You know, I try watch people in studio so I can kind of like get ahead.
Man,
It's
you
a
just
lot of
need
buttons.
The thing is, I had Tala and Lasty because I used to irritate them a lot. Like Tala Man and even Junior, but mostly Tala and Lasty because they singers and they get it. So I used to irritate them a lot because I'd want to record ideas and I just wanted it done now, but they'd want to chill because our sleeping patterns are like crazy, so we just in studio all the time. And then Lasty was just like, yo, dog, I'm just gonna show you how to do this once. You just have to YouTube
Do
it
it
if you
yourself.
mess up.
Yeah.
But you're gonna do it. You'll figure it out. We sat down, and one of my songs that was on my mixtape, Cupid, that was actually the first song I recorded myself. And he's like, I showed you. Here's the song. Just do it. Let's see if you. I had to figure out the BPM by myself, which was so difficult at the time. I was like, oh my
You didn't have
god,
the app for that.
no app. And I was like, oh, I had to figure it out and listen. I had to get that right, and without that, I couldn't record. And I had to get getting keys right, like just listening.
Yeah.
All of that. I had to be able to cultivate all that knowledge that he was trying to just give me in one 20-minute session and keep it forever. And that's the cool thing, because I only use the things that I think I need. And until I think I need something else, I'm going to go and, you know what I mean?
That's
but it's
impressive.
cool. It's fun being able to do everything
it's-
yourself.
That's very
I
impressive.
just, must be something the Cape Town water, because when you speak of how you do things, like K Faith comes to mind as well.
Yeah.
Because she's like, and I understand she's
cool.
rapping now as well.
I didn't even know that. I haven't seen it in
I
a
think so.
minute.
I could be
Yeah.
wrong.
She
but yeah.
produces a whole lot of stuff for Fresh Click, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
she does a lot for
Yeah.
even big artists and stuff.
Yeah, no, she's
Shout out
dope.
to the
She's
Cape
dope. I
Town
worked with
water.
her.
They don't got much of it. but-
Yeah, so when it's there,
on,
shout out to Cape Town water when it's there.
I mess
Kidding.
with
All
that
love
flip,
Cape
man.
Town.
If that was me, I'd be chest beating that so much, yo. This
On
is
some
me.
rust tip.
Yeah, on some rust tip, yo.
I do
Rowlene,
everything.
this song produced by me,
Written by me.
Produced.
Composed by me. Mixed by
Arranged.
me.
Arranged.
mixed by Rowlene.
Oh my god.
I definitely have that as a motherfucking tag. I make merch out of it.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I do all my ish.
I think
It's pretty
that's
hectic.
that's ultra dope, man. I mean, I think these are the sort of conversations I think that do need to be had. You know what I mean? Like you spoke about documenting and how important it is for us to document the culture, and this is why the sobering also came about, because we felt that there aren't a lot of in-depth hip hop conversations.
Yeah,
that-
you don't
that
get to
happen,
know
you
the
what I mean?
artists
Yeah, we
properly.
don't really get to know
Yeah.
our artists, and finding out something like this, you know, it's just like, damn, yo, I wish I watched the Insta stories where you're ranting about this. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, I know I do that.
And that also took, that's not one of, I didn't learn that about you on the first day that I met you, you know, it took time, and you gotta do hours with people. Like I was actually saying to Spooty the other day, like, yo, babe, we've done like hours with each other, like hours. And that's the thing, like to learn about people and to learn about things, it takes time. You gotta put in hours, you know. And unfortunately, people who consume our music don't often have us in this space, and they get their own ideas from the music.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But when we are in this space and we can talk about it more openly, they are able to learn a bit more, and it's like looking into a window. Do you know what I mean? It's really, it's like just a different perspective. It's
Yeah,
really
and it's like it's an
enlightening.
attitude adjustment, and if the attitude can be positive, why not? Like it doesn't hurt you to help another person with just perspective and just trying to at least making them think that they came up with the idea. Come on.
I like that.
Like master manipulation. Making
Yeah,
people
let
think-
them run with it.
Yeah, let them. Yeah, they came up with the whole thing. They were mastermind. At least you get what you want.
And like in terms of what you're working on now, can you give us a little, you know what I mean, peephole in terms of what you're doing and the concept around what you're about to put out?
My album.
Yeah.
I'm currently working on my album, and man, it's my first album. And like everyone that I've spoken to about the whole first album syndrome, like they probably went through the same thing.
You're on the right track. Is it hard?
That's-
Are you seeing flames? You are on the right track.
It's not even that. Like I'm just that much of a perfectionist that if I do this thing, like if I'm not gonna finish it, I don't like it. So I go in the studio with the mentality of one song a day. So sometimes it's more than one, but it can't be less. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So for my album, there are so many options, and what I like, Junior might not like. What Junior likes, I'm just like, really, that song? Really, that song? And then what Junior likes, Colin might not like. But now it's like, it's a back and forth of like, why did you give us so much content? You know what I mean? So like now, this little feeling that I'm in right now is just anxiety, because
babe.
like
Stay
I
there.
have
That's the right
so
place.
many songs, but like I'm like, shit, so I'm gonna have to drop like 3 albums.
Okay.
Oh man.
Like
That's work.
Yeah.
That's work.
You see what I'm saying, dog? And then you got these rappers out here telling you, yeah, I'm just gonna put out a single. I'm just gonna put out a single for freaking 5 years, yo.
yeah, but the thing is like also don't get too attached.
Come on.
Don't get
no.
too attached,
No,
man.
but
Like
it's
let go and move on.
I've had those rants too many times. It's like, yo.
Wait, what do you mean don't get too attached?
to your music. Move on. Make more
You
songs.
see,
Yeah.
exactly.
If you were dope,
that.
you would always be dope. You know what I mean? If you need help, ask help, seek help. There's nothing wrong with asking someone to write your song, and giving another person a job.
Alala.
There's
Yeah.
nothing wrong with asking someone to. There's nothing wrong with asking a person to write your entire song. Like, it's the music industry. It's 2019. Grow up. Like, honestly, like, stop being in your feelings, guys.
Do you want to leave your phone number now? So you just get a whole ad for yourself?
You know, like,
If you need help.
Yo,
guys.
she got the pen game for you. I know y'all needed some of you know. Come on, Rowlene has got you. Yo, we'll get the details afterwards. We'll put them on the Instagram caption. All of that jazz.
But when is the album coming out? Sorry to cut you off.
We're looking at September.
Mm.
Not because of like anything, just because of it's my first album. I want to be comfortable and I want to be 100% positive with what I'm putting out. And the people that are backing it, I need them to believe in it as much as I'm believing in it, because that's what I believe with collaborations. Like, don't just do it for like 15 seconds.
Yeah.
Like, I need you to believe in what I'm actually doing, or just leave. Like, I will find someone like that will believe in the project as much as I do. And that's where I'm at. Like, when someone comes into my session and they listen and they're just like, shit, what was that? That is what I want. Like, yeah, okay, get out. You listen to, like, no one's really listened to all of the songs. There hasn't been a person that's actually listened to every single one of them in my space. Like, I'll play the songs to the person that will fit best for that specific song. So if it's like something super touchy, I'd play it to Sam and Junior, because they like weird about that, or Colin, and they'll be like, oh, this is some Whitney shit. And then I'll play, if it's like super gangster, I'd play it to Lusty, and so they're like, oh, you want some shit. Like, that's just like knowing your audience is also very important. Like, knowing your audience, because you might just play the wrong thing to the wrong person, and it's not you, it's them. Like, 90% of the time, like, your shit's dope, man, like, to you. But that's it. You need to believe in it first before you can take it anywhere else, and that's what I'm trying to do with this album.
And eventually, when you decide on the songs that you're going to put on the album, you submit the album to NSDC. That's the label head.
Yes.
Dope.
Yeah.
Dope.
But it's been dope, because like, he wants to be a part of the entire process, but like, he's busy, so it frustrates him as well, because he didn't expect it, because it is his first time. So it's like, he didn't expect that he was gonna be away 80% of the time for me in the duration of me making this, because he was in Tokyo for like the longest time, like a week, and then they were somewhere else for like a month. So for that space, when he got back and he listened to all the songs that I created in that space, he kind of felt sad. He was like, oh, I wasn't here for this. Like, and then I even told him, like, I dedicate this week, we can work this week, but then even this week, we both, like, our schedules doesn't allow us to, like, and even next week, like, we have the Lift As You Rise thing with Jade Bull, and even then, we're only there from, like, Sunday to Wednesday, and then we go off to Nigeria, and then we have Mozambique, and then I have Cape Town again. So it's just like,
Those
it's
are
a lot.
blessings,
And
though.
in that yes, but in that
Yeah.
breath, I still need to finish an album. So it's like, it's a lot of inspiration, but a lot of anxiety at the same time.
Yeah, you guys do a lot of traveling, like both of you.
Yeah.
Like, what are some of your international aspirations? Like,
Man,
where
I
you
want to
see
do
yourself on
Coachella.
the
I so badly
international
want to
scale?
do Coachella. Like, that was always a thing
Because you
for
said
me.
2020 is the year.
Yeah,
that you
but
do
like,
Coachella.
I did say 2020, and I'm not taking that away, because like,
It can still happen.
I'm putting it out there. I'm putting it out there in the universe. Like, even if I'm holding a spoon at Coachella, I'm okay with that. Like, I was on the stage. But like, I believe like what you think like manifests. And I've been reading a lot of positive stuff. Like, I have positive people around me all the time. The things we talk about is, people will think we're weird, because like, we don't talk about normal people stuff. We talk about how we're gonna buy that land and turn it into something, and then how that is gonna turn into that, and how that will merge, and then this company will blow up with this, because we have 9 other things we're doing. That's how we think. It's like we're ahead, because we already know what we're trying to aspire to be. Like with SMA, we knew 2 years ago that SMA was going to be a big song without playing it to anyone, just us having it.
That's why you shot 3 videos.
Yeah, why not?
Why
Spoil the
not?
song. Why not? Like, we spoiled the song because we knew exactly. We still know, because that isn't it. That's not even it. Like, this triple platinum, all of that's not it. We're not even like, oh my God about it, because we have bigger hopes for the song.
Damn.
Like, legit.
Dope.
Yo.
I knew Moozlie. No Moozlie. Damn, it's just called Moozlie.
Shout out to Moozlie.
Shout out to me.
Sure. No, sorry, I got lost in so much. What was the question?
What's
My
your
bad.
International aspirations.
Oh, my international aspirations. I think for me, besides extending my territory in the music space. I think I'm trying to grow in the business of music. Like for me, I'm very, very big on networking. And I think that's kind of what lets us down when we as African artists go and try and tell our stories there. Like it's just very difficult to penetrate the network. You know what I mean? It's not that our music is not as dope. It's not that our videos are not as fly. It's not that our mixing and mastering or whatever. Like we like
They
genuinely,
watching, they listening.
we are on that level.
We're
Like
on
if you
that
travel,
level.
like our stuff is really, really dope, but it's just a bit difficult to penetrate the network. And I mean, I literally had to get in my car today and drive to Limpopo and like go and meet the compilers personally so that they know that, hi, Moozlie, Moozlie Penda Music, this is what we're doing, do you know what I mean? And it's because you have to build a network. So for me, I just have this vision of like offices in different cities around the world. And maybe by then I'll just be like, Kamara Lee Simmons.
Oh yeah,
Back then.
baby fat.
Back then.
Yeah.
Back
like,
then.
Yeah.
with the 2 little kids and just running a whole entire empire and really just like disrupting the game that you're in, because like Baby Fat was way ahead of its time. It was generally like
Baby
disrupting
Fat was
the fashion
yeah,
space, you
dude,
know.
And I was a kid,
So,
and
yeah.
I know about that.
You know? Yeah, so I really just want to be able to create networks that can help artists in other places.
Yeah.
Also, I want to go to Grammys. That'll be dope.
Yeah, but SMA is gonna do that.
In the name of Jesus, amen.
Talk about it. Hey.
So I mean, like you just spoke about your business aspirations as well. Rowlene, do you ever think about that in terms of?
It's really like I'm very quiet about what I do because
I
yeah,
can tell.
like,
I said,
I'm on the low about 80% of the things that I'm doing, because I'm not sure, only because, as aforementioned, I want to be 100% sure about what I'm doing before I even talk about it, because there are a lot of negative people out there that like to just make things weird and just speak negatively about your positive stuff. And I feel like I'm in a space where I just need to protect my peace, protect my ideas, protect my ownership of my stuff, like just keeping it, because I have a team that is helping me, and that's all that matters. Like, people believe in if it's as stupid as it sounds sometimes, they just like, okay, but how are we gonna make that work? And if you have a plan, they'll go with it. As stupid as it sounds, they'll go with it. Like,
Dope.
That kind of reminds me of Rouge. Rouge was like that. I was like, "Oh, friend, let's do this. Hey, let's clam ourselves. Let's go to this event." And she was like, "Girl, what's that gonna do for me?" You know. And I
Exactly,
think
like-
for me, it's like people move differently.
and you can't
but
judge
like,
them for that.
Yeah, and people, it all happens in their time. Like if Rouge were to pull up, now she looking flat.
Yeah.
Girl looking real good. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it all comes
So,
with time.
it
Like,
all
you need
comes
to
with
be
time.
comfortable with yourself, comfortable with walking naked outside and not caring that anyone is they definitely gonna say something, but you need to be okay with it. Because you live with yourself. Imagine, like, you the only person that lives with yourself. Like,
Yeah.
you need to deal
Yeah.
with all of that.
Yeah.
100% of the time.
Damn.
Damn.
Imagine you
Energy
didn't-
talk.
Imagine.
Energy talk. I love
Imagine.
it.
Big
My
energy.
favorite, yo, big energy. Big energy boys, big energy girls. You know what I'm saying? Now, going into unlocks, right? You, Moozlie,
Yeah.
you about to roll into the land of the hyenas. How you feel? Are your bars ready?
Yo, I'm so excited for this. You know, I think after like working on the album for so long, you just kind of get into like songwriting mode.
Yeah.
And you don't get into like umtrela masimba mode.
Uh-huh.
So I'm really excited to get into the
bringing
umtrela
the smoke.
masimba mode. You know what I mean? And I'm gonna like really go in. Like I'm trying to be like, Moja Love of this like like keep on my files. You understand? Like really
All
trying
the
to
way
go
in.
hard, really trying to go off. It's gonna be dope.
Damn, man!
That's gonna be
Like
dope.
I'm really looking forward to that, and I was thinking to myself, like, like the energy that each rapper is going to bring there, and Moozlie popped in my head, like, yo, I know she's gonna say some ish,
Trust me.
and I feel like some strays.
Trust me.
Some people
gonna
won't catch it.
Somebody
catch
catch
Someone
it.
will catch it.
Couple people gonna catch the side.
Who are you looking forward to in the cypher besides yourself?
I think I'm really looking forward to see how J Molly would cipher, because he's
You and me
coming with
both.
the melodies, and like in the beginning I was just like, okay, melodies, whatever, but like if you break down what he's saying, he's like really coming with like, okay, J Molly is saying some fly stuff. So I'm really interested to see his perspective. I don't think he really kind of views himself as that white guy in hip hop, you know what I mean? But I just feel like,
A lot of people don't even know that he's white.
yeah, you know, I just feel like he's got a really interesting perspective. And the thing about doing the cypher on African soil is that as much as it's about representing yourself, you really got to represent for your generation,
Yep.
you know what I mean? For your wave or for your whatever it is.
Your generation,
So he
your
really,
country, the
yeah,
country,
he
the
like, I
continent.
think
Yeah.
he's gonna surprise us. He's gonna come hard.
Damn,
Yeah, I think obviously there's an obvious
hope
one.
he surprises
like
us.
Rouge is gonna like
Yeah, Rouge is good. We know
Rouge gonna go off.
Straight
demolished,
body
you know what
there,
I mean?
yeah.
You know?
Reese is obviously gonna kill.
Yeah, so like everybody's like that. They're all looking forward to Reese because there's like so much attention around him going on to Sway. I mean, Sway has called him out like
Exactly.
Yeah, a bunch of times.
So everybody's just like, ooh, what's Reese gonna do? You know
Yeah.
what I mean? But I was just thinking like, oh, everybody else is like, there's such an interesting dynamic, you know. Hash as well with like he's got like this crazy
You
energy.
know what I
You know
mean?
what I mean? He's like,
And he's got things to
And
prove.
also, he's just
Yeah.
like a young
Yeah.
person and stuff. Like he's really
Just wants
about
to
that. He
prove
wants to be
himself.
the teenage icon, you know. But I think it's also just really dope that like a lot of people have to go so far away to go and prove themselves to like other people, but like they come in to us. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? And Castle Lights is like saying, you need to come and hear what these kids are talking about
Yeah.
where we are
Yeah.
at because they're really onto something. Just kind of shows that like, yo, we dope. Like we bringing people to us. Like you want to come
Yeah.
hear what we've got to
Yeah.
say, you
No,
know?
like not Africa to the world. Bring them
Yeah.
here.
Yeah,
Everybody
like
is
you,
here.
you
Come
want to
here.
hear about us? Come to
here.
us, you
what I
know?
mean? And again, that's what you're talking about. That's like that network, you know, and that network is being created because, like, if you think about a figure like Sway, he is very well researched. You know what I mean? So when he's coming here,
He knows his
he's
thing.
definitely going to be doing his homework.
Yep.
And I mean, he's going to be doing his homework in terms of everybody that's within the cipher. You
Yep.
know?
Yeah.
So he's definitely listening to a Moozlie. He's definitely listening to a Hash. Definitely listening to a Molly. You know what I mean? So like, if anybody has like basically disassociated that sort of fact, they might have just played themselves.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
it's gonna be really dope.
Yeah, and speaking of networks as well, he's looking to expand that as well, like his network on the African continent. Because more than anything, overseas, he's except for others, like he's really championing the African sound, bringing
Yeah.
African people onto the thing. So I feel like everybody must show up to the cipher.
Yep.
Like, yo,
No pressure.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Moozlie-
especially on you Twitter trolls, you be talking so much shit. Y'all gotta pull up too.
Yeah,
I know Moozlie
I like
gonna
that.
bring
Yeah.
I like that. I like that.
man.
I need that energy, man. I need that, and I feel like it's crazy is that not a lot of rappers have that energy. You know what I mean? And that's why every time like you talk that ish, I'm just like, yo.
Like they say, rappers are sensitive out here.
Yeah, you know. Also, like a lot of the time, we just like it's not worth it. Do you know what I mean? Because you're really just trolling. But sometimes you just need to let a person know. Because I'm trying my same, but
Yeah.
like I'm not the one. Don't try me.
yeah,
Yeah, like don't.
Yeah.
yeah,
I already put out a track like that. Like I had to.
yeah.
Like I went in full colored. Don't. No one tried me after that. There were no
In case
stray
they forgot.
Go in
bullets.
full color.
There were no stray
Damn.
bullets after that. Everything was just settled. We were friends after that. I said thank you. Don't try
And
anyways.
speaking of being sensitive, Moozlie, I just want to take it back to that whole campaign that you did.
Okay, I'll tell Mkhet.
There's no way I can like
This
I let
is, yo,
yeah.
Mkhet the Spice God. If anybody don't know, I mean, this is, you know.
Well, I did it.
Come on.
Yeah, you
You
did
know what
it.
I mean?
You did it. I mean, and there was a lot of like backlash that came after that. How did you take that?
I stayed offline.
Very smart.
Oh, so that wasn't part
I
of
was
the
so
campaign.
mad at you, by the way.
You and me both. You and me
I was in
both.
Cape
I was
Town.
waiting to say.
I
I'm
was in
waiting
Cape
to say that,
Town.
bro.
Like I just got home.
Yo, I
like,
was hurt.
I was so mad. Like I just pulled up at the house that we were staying, and like Jim texts me, and I'm like, "Whoa, what? No!" And Nani's calling. I'm like, "Why are you guys all calling me at the same time? What happened?"
Yo, I was like,
And then they sent me the video. I was like, "No way,
Yeah.
no way."
Damn.
He thought was about to tweet. He hardly tweet. He was about
my
like,
dude. I was
Were
like,
you
yo,
triggered?
tell me where she at.
You
Tell
were
me where she
triggered?
at.
Yeah.
He was
know?
triggered, yo.
And then after when you found out it was a campaign, I was like, damn man, I put prayer hands emojis in that man.
Yeah.
I prayed for her. I prayed for her.
Thank you for your prayers, you know. And obviously, for me, prayer is not something that I pray with. And I think in those hours when things were unrolling, like people who were around me, they could kind of see me kind of start to get a little bit like,
Yeah.
you know. And it's simply because you can feel prayers, like genuinely, you will feel prayers coming
you
your
wanted to
way,
put
you know.
people at
Energy
ease.
So
talk.
I really I was just really, really anxious to just put people at ease. But at the same time, the more I felt like that, the more it was just like, it's doing exactly what we thought it would do. Like, it's working exactly the way we thought it would. You'll never know if people are going to be happy, people are going to be sad, but genuinely, I was prepared for every situation. Like we took
that
months.
magnitude though, like it was hectic, man. Like I was just like, yo, you guys are
I
really
stayed
good.
offline though, so I didn't see a
That
lot
was
of
pretty
it. You
freaking
know,
hectic.
a lot of the things, a lot of the backlash that I hear about, like I hear from people, and a lot of the time they're just saying to me like, did you see that meme? And then it's like funny, do you know what I mean? Because it's like Black Twitter. But if I had been online, and it was 4 days, like Rose Moozlie was trending for 4 straight days, you know. But I stayed offline. I stayed focused on the message that it is that we were trying to give. And after people kind of wrapped their heads around what it was, after they saw the full video, and after they kind of went back, and after they looked in the mirror and decided that like she's not actually the only bad person in this situation, I'm probably just feeling super uncomfortable because I know I be doing this all the time. You know what I mean? And I think for a lot of people it is even more upsetting because they're like, damn, I've got people who have died in car accidents. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
but
that
I
was
still
what touched me.
I still
You
do
still do
this
on
you know
every
what I mean?
weekend,
And it's difficult, especially when you don't have bad intentions to change something about yourself. It's kind of like when somebody tells you, like, oh, I don't like the way you like chew. You know, it's just like, what do you mean?
You
like,
spotted, you got it.
that's just who I am, you know.
Yeah.
That's just who I am. And unfortunately, as the young generation that we are, being reckless on our roads is kind of just who we are. And it was a difficult pill for a lot of people to swallow, but somebody has to do it, you know what I mean? And I'm really glad that we did it. And over time, we saw the sentiment really start to change. And we saw people start to be like, whoa, you were right, you know? I do wish we would penetrate more on a snapping and driving level. Like, I have a lot of friends who've, like, really genuinely, they don't drink and drive anymore. Like, they've genuinely stopped. But snapping and driving just kind of seems like something that's normal to people.
Yeah, don't sub me, yo.
Yeah, I'm trying to. I'm looking at you like,
Don't sub-
Like, it's really not cool. Like, it's really,
Not
really
sub
not
Tell
cool.
him.
Don't sub the kid, man.
It's really not cool. And it's just like, what are you really trying to show us in that moment? That you're going somewhere? We know. We
Yeah.
see you when you get here.
Yeah.
What are you trying
Yeah.
to show us?
Yeah, where you going?
The song
Yeah,
that
where
we're
you going?
I'm
listening
gonna give
to.
y'all the cheat codes. Do that ish in the parking lot, famo.
When the car is parked, handbrake
Come
up.
on.
You know what I mean?
No, come on.
Responsible.
Relax, fam.
Yeah.
Don't be out here turning, you know what I mean?
And genuinely, like, what happened with me is what will happen. But, like, there won't be that hour 12 where it's like, oh, it was a campaign.
Yeah.
That won't happen. And genuinely, like, you'll be lying in your bed by yourself and you'll just be like, please, can this not be real? Please, can this not be real? And it will be real.
Yeah.
Like,
Hey,
it will be
Are
real.
you happy with the campaign though?
I'm very happy with the campaign. I'm extremely
You don't
proud
regret
of
it at all?
I don't regret it at all.
Okay.
It's very interesting
take
for
that.
us to figure out how we can, like, now. We definitely won't do anything that crazy again. Don't worry. And shout out to Castle Light for still rocking with me as an alcohol brand, because other people were just like, "You're really crazy for real." You know what I mean? But like, for me, it was just like, if I really believe in what you're saying, I will kill myself for you. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's exactly what I did with that campaign.
Yeah.
So we're not gonna do anything like that anymore. But it's really
But
dope.
also, I mean, shout out to them. They're also driving the message
Yeah.
of you have to drink responsibly.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's all about the responsible level, and not drinking and driving is a big
Yeah.
thing. You know what I mean? So people need to make sure that they heed that. you know?
Yeah, and I
So,
think even now, especially that it's a 2-day festival, there's absolutely nothing that would be more heartbreaking than, like, day 1 is lit and then, like, day 2 there's a moment of silence. Do you know what I mean? Like, nobody wants to experience that. We all want to have a good time. We all want to have fun, and nobody's saying don't drink. Like, hey,
do it safely.
pop up
carpool.
la.
Yeah, you got
My
sober friends that
way.
drive. You know what I mean?
You know
Carpool,
what I mean?
all of those things. There's
Yeah.
Ubers, carpooling. There's rides and all of that jazz. But just map it out responsibly,
Yeah.
and you got ample planning time toward the event. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
And honestly, if you feel like I've got a car, it's got petrol, like an Uber's gonna be money, my dad always used to say this to me: if you can't afford it, don't do it. Like, if you don't have money for the Uber, like, you can't do it, because genuinely you can't afford to die either. Like, that's a whole
So
nother
my
thing.
pools again.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, if you can't afford it, don't do it.
Yeah.
Damn, that's dope. And one last one. Fatel.
Yes.
This has to do with Fatel. I hit you up on Twitter and you actually replied. Somebody was saying it. I forgot who. It could have been Menzi. He's like, Fatel is a gem. I'm like, damn. At least somebody, like, you know, relates with me, because I fucking love that song.
Thank you.
And
He really loves it. If he says that, yeah.
Thank you.
and when you hit me back up, you're like, I said it should have been bigger. You're like, it's on high rotation. And then the way you're explaining, like it's on high rotation on stations, like it did what it had to do. And in my eyes, I'm just like, that's not enough for me. It should have been bigger.
So your feelings are hurt.
Yeah, I think I
Pretty
also.
much. Yeah, pretty
I think
much,
not too
yeah.
long ago also I really tweeted like I don't need high rotation and like thousands of views of playlists and stuff to like really let me know that my music is dope. And that's not to say that I don't want to achieve those things. Like I mean, how good does it feel to have a triple platinum selling record?
It's pretty normal.
Oh, you see what I mean? That's pretty normal. You know, it's pretty normal.
Oh, my new spirit. And
Yo, my nigga, you have no idea.
Okay, well, I think it would still be dope, but it doesn't change the energy that I put into the music and the stories that I tell. And Fatal, as much as it sounds like a hey, it's like one of the most personal songs I've actually ever written because it's about growing up in Benoni, Ekasi, like Tato and Busi are literally people
I was
that I know.
about to say
Do you
say
know
shout
what I
out to
mean?
Tato and
Yeah,
Mabaso.
you know what I mean? And Mabaso was a
I
place
know
that
who
we go
Tato
to all
is,
the
but
time.
from that song, it's like, hey, shout out to
Yeah, yeah,
Tato.
yeah.
Yeah,
That's my girl, you know.
Yeah,
That's
shout
like
out to Tato.
my big
Yeah.
sister. So, I think energy is more important than anything, and speaking your truth is more important than anything. Dude, but they will come. I'm not at that bitter place where people are like, get this trash off the radio so that mine can be on. Like, I'm not there. Genuinely, I wish I could have a bit more in with the radio stations and the compilers and all the stuff, but like, I'm gonna do what I do. I never ever believe that God will take your blessings and give them to somebody else. I don't think that because that person is on, that's why I'm not on or whatever. Like my stuff is dope, you know, and I value moments like this. And there are lots of other people like you. You may not be like the loudest person. You may not be like a stan where you like every morning like, watch this video, like yeah, you know, like a
can't do that.
TV and or
Really can't.
whatever. But
Yeah.
like. You relate to me and you send me love and you send me good energy, and for
Yeah.
me that's more
All
important
day.
than
She
like
felt that, bro.
yeah, like that's more
I'm glad.
important than anything.
Yeah.
But
That
you
was
still
your
be
intention,
sending,
right?
You still be sending shots at them influencers,
Yeah.
though.
No, I love influencers, man. Shout out to them. Like influencers
It's
work hard,
difficult. Do you know
guys.
how difficult
They
it is?
work hard.
Do you know how difficult it is to influence?
No, it's
Like
really,
thinking
they
of
work
what you
hard.
now, they're like, you need to be organic. What? What? I have to be me.
Yeah, they work hard.
Like, it's hard,
They
guys.
work
It's hard.
But my whole thing was that like Questa had his own good to like, you know, to take him to the next level. I felt like Fatel could have been that for you with just like more push.
But how Questa got Nguto after like 9 years.
Yeah, bro.
Alright, so I'm gonna have to wait. Alright.
And if I'm making a Fatal in year 4,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? And we said it's not a couple of years, a couple of months. That's how the game is
Yeah.
going. So it's only a matter of time. Like it's
Yeah.
only a matter of time. And I think also it'll happen as I make music more the only thing that I do. And I
Yeah.
think that's why songs like
100%
Fatal
committed.
sound and feel the way they do, because in that moment that is all that I was thinking about. And I do wear a lot of different hats. I'm not saying they like distract me or whatever, but sometimes you just gotta zone in, you know what I mean? You really just gotta zone in into what it is that you're doing. And I think that's why it happened that way. So I need to like just
Attracted, babes.
just zone in.
Alright, man. Do what you gotta do. We're out here.
Damn.
Yeah.
So you know what it is? I mean, hip hop unlocked all in one space is gonna be a dope time. I mean, day one is. I think I'm looking forward a lot.
Day one just came through and stole the game, eh?
Yeah.
I won't lie.
With that
Day one
knee.
was looking dope. Like,
Last
okay, Day
minute.
one, we see you.
Yeah.
And as people who are part of the culture, we're like, we'll go. You know what? But now it's just like, you are not day one. You didn't come to day one.
Yeah.
Like, day one is going to be
That's-
absolutely
that's gonna be
insane.
fun.
It's actually crazy if you think about it. You've got you've got the conversations, you've got the ciphers, then you are meek.
Got
It's
the
like-
dream chasers.
It's like, man,
Yo.
it's actually overload. It's actually in surplus now. It's too much.
And
You
a
know
whole
what I mean?
abundance of local talent. It's just
A
gonna be
whole-
crazy.
You know what I mean? I mean, shout out to everybody that'll be performing there. You know what I mean? I'm looking. Who are you looking forward to in terms of the local cats?
Me,
Besides you,
I really like, I'm really looking forward to my performance. Like, genuinely, it's going to be so dope.
are you gonna pull some special vibes, Vele? Like,
I'm gonna make it very special, you know. I really wanted to translate the story of victory, but at the same time, I just wanna be like, it's gonna be like valedictorian, like the graduate of SA Hip Hop. You gonna see that girl on stage. You're gonna be like, oh, that's our girl. You know what I mean? That's the energy that I'm trying to bring. I'm trying to show people where I came from, where I'm at right now, and the story that I'm trying to share with people. So we're gonna go back. We're gonna go forward. We've got dope aesthetics. We're bringing in lighting, dancers. Like we're going all the way. It's gonna be dope.
Go crazy.
Damn, man. You done whet the appetite, you know? You better
Yeah.
feed the people.
It's gonna be dope.
Bro, what you looking forward to?
Big Hash. Definitely, I haven't seen him live.
Really?
Yeah.
You're in for
Can
a
I
treat.
just tell you
Yeah.
this? He has the best hype
In my
man
Jimmy
ever.
Choos.
Without a mic.
You love his
okay.
hype man.
Yeah,
I
you
love
love
his
him.
hype man.
I haven't
When
seen
you
him live.
like, you'll tell me if you see me later after you see him
Yeah.
and his hype man. Tell me,
I will definitely do
like,
that.
tell best hype man in the game.
I mean, they're like a energy made in heaven.
Yo,
you know
the
what I mean?
synergy
the
just
synergy
like-
is phenomenal.
Yo.
With the DJ, with the hype man, everything is in like.
Hype man with no mic.
Okay.
Crazy.
That's
Pretty
dope.
hectic. Yeah.
That's dope.
So that's gonna be dope. I mean, day
Yeah.
one, it's
I
gonna
think
be
for
a vibe.
day 2, I'm really looking forward to seeing Rouge because day 2 is like the full on concert experience. And if you've been seeing how she's been moving over the past couple of months, how she's redesigned her sets and added dance to the elements, it's going to be really dope to see her like on that big stage with like a big production. So
Rouge is lit,
I'm
man. I don't
excited.
think she gets enough credit for curating experiences for her listeners. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And her fans. From like doing the short film, like and executing it in the most professional way we've seen.
Yeah,
it
that short film was
And
Award
fire.
winning.
won some awards.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
taking awards.
She won the
you know what I
Summer,
mean?
the SEFTA, and the Saha in 1 year.
Listen
Yeah.
to that. That's
Yeah.
friggin' phenomenal. So shout out to Rouge. I mean, she deserves a big one. Rouge, come to the show.
I think how in the state they got like the EGOT, Emmy, Grammy, and whatever.
Yeah.
There should be some SARS. I don't know what it is, just
Yeah.
but what she's
oh,
won.
she's honored. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, man.
Because that's TV. That's
What do you call
yeah.
it? Sa.
The SARS.
SARS.
The
Saha,
SARS.
Sama, Safta.
Yeah.
Sa.
Yeah, it's a SARS.
Wow.
She got the
She is
triple
a
S.
salsa man.
She
Yeah.
did, she did her thing. I mean, yo, guys, it's gonna be super dope. Really enjoyed the conversation, and more of these conversations will be happening. You know what I mean? Unlocking
real.
everything hip hop, unlocking everything dope. So shout out to Unlocks. You know, it's gonna.
And
be
Rowlene
super,
stayed
super
the whole
crazy.
time, guys.
Shout
Yeah,
out.
you guys are lucky.
Stayed the whole time, yo. Shout out to Rowlene.
I can't
You know,
sit still this long. I'd be out, but
you know what I mean? And
It's
you know,
the sober man.
let them know what the hashtag is. Hashtag that.
Hashtag has a lot of locks.
It's gonna be super dope. I'm telling you guys, you don't want to miss it. You know, I know you're gonna shout out somebody right about now.
Of course, all the time. Shout out to my mom.
Don't forget to give thanks.
Oh, that's it.
Peace.